Take 7. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Road Trip with Nick YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about some of the pros and cons to working remotely. It's not all kittens and ponies. Stay tuned and find out.
Okay, so let's paint a little picture, shall we? Pull a little, what's the painter guy's name again?
Bob Ross.
Bob Ross on you, but not quite. So paint a little picture. When people hear the fact that we work remotely, I think a lot of the time a picture of a beach comes into their head and we're like hanging out, working on the beach, sun's coming down on us.
Drinking a cocktail.
Cocktails, sound of the waves crashing. Oh, can you hear it, right? Can you see it?
Delightful.
Like full screeching halt. That's not even close to what it is.
Now back to reality. So you're sitting on the beach. Many of you know sand gets in everything. I mean everything. So I've never brought my laptop out to the beach.
Unless you want like crunchy keys on the keyboard.
Yeah. Crunchy keys.
Not good.
So, sand gets in everything. It's also really hard to see your screen in bright sunlight. So sand, sun, and no Wi-Fi on the beach.
No Wi-Fi?
No Wi-Fi?
Ew, no Wi-Fi!
So let's talk about some reality checks and pros and cons to working remotely. Some of these are great advantages and some of these are pretty significant disadvantages.
And keep in mind, this is just from our experience. You may be okay with some of these things that we consider cons. You may love them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
One of my personal pros, and I know Nick's as well, is that we love not having a commute into an office. There's also, with that same pro, is that I don't have to go shop for new outfits every week to try to keep up with the Joneses in my office and not wear the same things over and over again. When you're a digital nomad, you can wear the same 5 outfits and no one's any the wiser.
Except you savvy viewers.
That's right.
You may have observed that we've worn the same articles of clothing a few times. If not, challenge you to go back and watch them and figure that out.
A con to working remotely as a digital nomad is that you're always looking for Wi-Fi. And once you find Wi-Fi, the next hunt is for the power outlet. Because you can't hang out usually for more than an hour or 2, maybe 3, before your battery starts dying, especially if you're doing some really cool coding stuff like this guy does.
And you may have remembered from one of our previous videos on being a digital nomad, remember your ABCs. Always be charging.
We'll link to that video right up here.
Next pro is that you can work at your own pace and for the most part kind of wherever and whenever you want. Now, obviously there are exceptions to this, but the con to that is obviously you're only getting paid for the work that you put in. If you're doing project work and maybe billing by the hour, we've found that 5 hours is a good solid day of focused billable work. Now, obviously it can go above or below that, but when you're forced to bill time honestly and accurately, you'd be surprised at how far you are from actually 8 hours of productive work. Obviously you're still responsible for meeting deadlines, and so if you're not self-motivated, this can be a big problem. We found that having a consistent routine helps you get in the right state of mind and be productive. So for us, we usually start the day with a gem session and get sweaty and then get to focus work. We found that getting started is often the hardest part and remind ourselves that things in motion stay in motion.
Another pro is that you work for yourself, obviously. The con to that right away is that as an independent contractor or a freelancer, it's feast or famine because the money ebbs and flows as the work comes in and out. So if you don't have a solid budget plan in place, this can be really hard on you and mentally and physically. Definitely working to avoid lifestyle inflation is a huge factor. If you do get a massive contract, make sure you do a pretty good job of being frugal and building an emergency fund and always saving for taxes. Probably the most annoying part about being a freelancer. One kind of side pro is that a lot of things are write-offs for your business, which is great. The con to that, again, being prepared for those quarterly taxes so they don't come as a surprise and don't bite you in the butt at a later time.
This is a frequent problem for first-time freelancers. They don't really plan accordingly for taxes, and then end of the year comes and they're hit with a pretty big surprise. So plan and save accordingly. Another pro, this one's pretty obvious and kind of just the overarching theme here, is just flexibility and freedom. You obviously give up things like employer-sponsored health insurance and 401ks with matches and all that other cushy stuff that comes with full-time employment, but for some of us, the flexibility is worth the trade-off.
Another pro is that you could decide who you're going to work with versus being forced into having to work with people you don't really like that much.
Assholes.
The con is that you spend a lot of time unpaid working to market yourself and reaching out to potential clients.
The last one, probably my personal favorite, is that you have unlimited unpaid vacation days. You don't have to ask for permission for time off. However, remember that unpaid part? You'll still need to hustle a little bit during any of your vacation time. This could be anything from getting a little work done in between, responding to emails, just generally making sure the gears are still turning.
Spinning the plates.
Make sure you're spinning the plates. Recently had a pretty good quote that was, the two most addictive things are heroin and bi-weekly direct deposit.
As always, if you found this video somewhat helpful or at least humorous, give it a like if you will below. Thanks in advance. Also, throw comments in the comment box. We are happy to chat with you there and would love to hear what you have to say or get your feedback or have you add to our list of pros and cons.
And if you found it boring as hell, you can comment below too. Let us know.
Maybe it's boring. We hope not, but it could be.
And you knew this was coming, but don't forget to subscribe if you want more of this fun facts and, life skills and, I don't know, tidbits, nuggets, and
our smiling faces.
And our smiling faces.
That's it. Can we talk about this beard real quick? This beard. Look at it.